What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into the Divine Feminist by Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alicia. Thank you all so very much for being here with me. Y'all are freaking incredible. Also, thank you for sticking it out with me. I know I have been MIA and like all over the place and not posting on schedule um, because I've been so freaking sick. But I am on the mend. I'm getting better, and we finally figured out what the heck it was, and I am being treated for it. Anyways, thank you for the well wishes, and I just want to jump in and do a quick little Mystic Monday reading for us to see what current energy we're in, what we can look forward to this week, what we're leaving behind, any expected, unexpected vibes to catch this week, what challenges and what advice Spirit has for us. So I'm just going to pop into it. If you want to connect to the energy while I'm pulling the cards, you can go ahead and offer that energy exchange by liking the video or hyping it if you have the option to do that. Oops, yeah, my deck is upside down. Yeah, so you can go ahead and do that. You can leave a comment. Anything helps. If you like my vibe and you'd like to subscribe, you can go ahead and do that too. Anyways, I'm going to pull the energy and we will see what is ahead for us this week. I'm just going to pull 7 cards and we'll see if we need to clarify. But yeah, let's get into it. Ooh, I like this. Looking pretty good. We got a lot of major arcanas this week. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the bottom of the deck as well to see what's happening here. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, I'm just going to tap into this energy and see what's going on. Okay, besties. So starting off with the current energy that we're in for this week, and I really love it here because the sun, it's one of the most positive cards of the whole entire deck, okay? And it tells us that right now there is this warm, kind of hopeful energy starting to come in this week. Okay, so it feels like something's finally breaking through, um, because the sun's all about clarity, truth, and definitely joy. But it is like a gentle and soft energy as well. So it doesn't really feel like, a party or fireworks. It's more like the moment when the sunlight first hits your face after like days of clouds and rain. It just feels warm. It feels loving. It feels like growth. It feels like a breakthrough. So for some of us, it could really, we could see something very clearly this week that we wouldn't have been able to see before. Okay. Or we have just started to see things clearly, right? Because this is the current energy we're in right now, right? So, yeah, I mean, there could be a decision that suddenly makes sense, or this feeling of relief after a long stretch of maybe some emotional or financial or spiritual or physical heaviness. Okay. There is light here, there's growth, and there's this quiet kind of optimism that's brewing. Okay. And I feel like Spirit's really letting us know that it's safe to open up to the light again in our world. Okay. Now my next question or the next card will represent what energy we're currently leaving behind, right? And then we have the Two of Pentacles for that one. So for this, it really tells me that we're moving out of this time where maybe we have been, juggling maybe a little bit too much. So many of us have been trying to, keep things balanced. We're all doing that all the time, right? Work, healing, relationships, our bodies, our thoughts, it's like, this is letting us know this is the energy that shows that we're doing our best. Okay. But sometimes our best is barely keeping our heads above water. Okay. That's the Two of Pentacles energy. So this past energy, it would have felt like being tired of always having to make hard choices, or even feeling like we've been stuck in survival mode, or not really able to slow down and just be, or focus on the things that we really want to focus on, because we've just got so much going on, right? So the good news is with this is a cycle that's like shifting here. This is what we're leaving behind, right? So Spirit's basically saying to us, like, we don't have to carry everything all at once, and that load is being lightened. Okay. We're going to be able to put some of those responsibilities or things that we've been juggling, trying to keep in balance. We're going to be able to put some of that down. Okay. And that's just the past energy. That's what we're leaving behind because we've seen something very clearly, right? That's helped us decide that, okay, we can't carry everything for everyone all the time. Okay. So things like that, right? We can't do it all the time. Now, what energy we're moving into this week is actually very strong. Again, like out of 7 cards, y'all, we have what, 4, 5 major arcanas. So this is a big week, okay? And it could be because I'm actually reading this on the full moon energy, so makes sense. Makes sense that we get a powerful reading on this full moon energy, but we have judgment, and I feel like we're just being asked to really rise up, and not in a way where we feel pressured, but in a very deeply personal way. I feel like, judgment really is all about answering this call from within. It's a wake up call, right? It is a moment where we basically realize, like, I can't keep living the way I've been living, right? I'm ready to step into something more. I'm ready to level up. I'm ready to do something differently. I'm ready to, it just feels like you're ready to leave something behind with judgment. And I mean, this really tracks with the sun here, the Two of Pentacles being the past energy. You're seeing something very clearly this week that is going to help you um, really propel yourself into the next level, to the next phase, the next chapter, right? So I really feel like this energy comes up when we're kind of preparing for, again, like I said, a new chapter, or when we're really finally letting go of any kind of shame or guilt or patterns or anything really that's been holding us back, whether it's internal dialogue or listening to other people telling us what we ought to be doing, or, I feel like there's been a lot of pressure, okay, in our lives. So if you're feeling a little bit emotional this week, or feel like you're waking up to something that's really big inside of you, that's okay. This is the energy that's actually propelling you forward. And that's good. Like, again, you're going to see some breakthroughs going on this week, and you're going to start to see some things very, very clearly for yourself. Now, this, I don't want anyone to freak out because the Five of Pentacles is here, and it is in the position of what we can expect this week. And okay, but let me talk about it. Sorry about that. I had to tell my son to quiet down a little bit. But yeah, okay, so Five of Pentacles of what we can expect. So yeah, I mean, it looks a little rough because nobody really wants to expect the Five of Pentacles energy. But I have to say that I feel like it's kind of validating showing up here, because the Five of Pentacles really will show up when we're still healing from those times that we might have felt left out or unsupported or alone in our struggles. Okay. So this week, there is something that's coming through that might trigger that old feeling, right? It might, but it could be financially, maybe emotionally, maybe even in your body. You might feel like you're outside the warmth looking in, but the truth is, you're not forgotten, you're not behind, you're not doing anything wrong here. Um, this is just a reminder that if you start feeling this way, if you start feeling like left out in the cold, or if you're triggered in some way, um, remember that you have access to warmth, right? You have access to joy and positivity and optimism and hope. Like, you've got the sun as your major arcana energy for current vibe right now. So if you are triggered this week and feeling alone in some kind of way, it's just a reminder that Spirit's saying, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone you trust, okay? Or maybe even go within to your own inner voice um, to find the support that you need. You are not alone. Even if things aren't looking the way that you may have expected, or you feel, again, something comes up that might make you feel like you're on this journey alone, okay, or you're triggered in some type of way, I'm just saying you can expect that to happen. And so when we see a negative feeling coming up as something that we can expect to happen, feeling left out in the cold, feeling abandoned, feeling all alone on our journey, we can be prepared, okay, so that when I feel this way, when I feel triggered, I can remember and remind myself that I'm going through breakthrough moments, I'm leveling up, I do have support, I don't have to be everything for everyone. I can, lean on, I can ask for help, Okay, I can ask for help, whether it's, through a trusted person in your life or spirit. You can ask for help. Okay, this is just a reminder. So best be prepared. Um, Now, I want to know what might, surprise us or show up unexpectedly, right, this week, because that's what we expect. This is what we don't expect, right? And the Wheel of Fortune is here, and so that's really fun. I feel like this is very exciting energy, and this says it like something really will change this week. Something big is going to change this week, okay? So it might be in a way that you weren't planning for. And it is giving that plot twist vibes, right? So it could be something turning in your favor, something that you thought was over, suddenly showing up again with a new possibility, or just your luck starting to turn. This could be you being in the right place in the right time. Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's destiny, it's fate, and it is your luck turning. It's all about the seeds that you planted, right? Like if you've been out here doing good things, this is you getting the rewards and starting to see your luck turning, okay, in your favor, and the universe really supporting you. So you might expect, and this could show up, this is very interesting because you might expect to have this feeling of being triggered or having to do something on your own, and then you end up unexpectedly, maybe you ask for support and you get it in a bigger way than you could have even imagined. Okay, something really good comes through. So that's why I said I don't feel like this is necessarily negative to see the Five of Pentacles here, because you are being supported by the universe this week. All right. So let me just give a little example. There could be somebody, that reaches out to you that you really haven't heard from in a long time, or it could be a job or an opportunity that you gave up on and it comes back around. Um, or maybe the way that you feel about something suddenly shifts, right? And that changes everything for you. So when the wheel shows up, it's really a reminder that nothing ever will stay the same forever. And that includes hard stuff, okay? It really includes the hard stuff. So what I find very interesting is justice here showing up for, what challenges might come up this week. Now, I have to take a quick sip of my tea because I have to, but I'll be right back. All right, loves. So for justice coming up as a challenge, I feel this week, you might be asked to look at something fairly and clearly. And I mean, it can be hard if emotions are still raw, because either way, I mean, justice will bring balance here, but it's also going to bring accountability. Okay, you might be reflecting on like past actions this week. It could be yours or someone else's, right? And you're really weighing out what's really fair. I feel like you might even be waiting for karma to do its thing for some of you. And Spirit is asking you to keep your side of everything clean, okay? Speak your truth, definitely. Hold your boundaries and trust that balance, is being restored, even if it's not immediate, okay? It could also be a reminder not to judge yourself too harshly. You've grown and you are growing, but also so are other people in your life as well. So I don't want to dive too deep into that because this could mean a lot of things. I feel like also seeing, well, okay, I'm just going to say it now. Seeing all this energy together, all this major arcana energy together this week, you are going to see a major shift in your world that, like, it makes you feel vindicated. It really drives you forward. I feel like it has been a long time coming. And it just feels like you're finally getting a breakthrough that you deserve this week. But I'm going to move on to what Spirit's advice for you is before, yeah, I just, it's the Hierophant, okay? And I feel like Spirit really is asking you this week to come back to you and your own core truth, right? Like the Hierophant, it's about your inner wisdom, it's about your beliefs, it's about your practices. So if things have been feeling chaotic or a little bit uncertain lately, definitely lean into your rituals, or if they feel chaotic this week, lean into your rituals. Okay, so it could be tarot, it could be journaling, prayer, walking outside, whatever, reading something that feeds your soul. It can be anything really that reminds you like who you are and what you stand for. So when this card shows up, it's basically saying like you don't have to figure it all out at once. Um, There are teachers, mentors, spiritual guides, books, podcasts, anything might show up this week with exactly the message that you need. So stay open to those messages this week, okay? Stay open to those messages this week. But yeah, I mean, all of this energy really, like I said, is very powerful and supportive of somebody who is at a major turning point in their life. I have to say that because normally, if you see one or two major arcana showing up in a reading, it's something to take note of, right? But when you see, 5 out of 7 cards for a weekly spread showing up as major arcana, I can tell that a lot of you are on like this edge of really shifting something huge in your life and having giant breakthroughs. And it makes sense. It tracks with the energy. It tracks with the eclipse season we are just passing through. The full moon energy. I feel like it's a very powerful turning point on the planet and with the energy. It's just insane right now. So yeah, a lot of you are going to be just experiencing some major shifts in your world. And again, with the Knight of Pentacles, it feels like it has been slow, steady movement up until this point. You know what I mean? There hasn't been any rushing. There's been no chasing. There's just been you taking one step at a time, in alignment with the universe, in alignment with where you are. Like, it just feels like everything's kind of led up to this moment in time where you're about to experience these major shifts and breakthroughs in your world. So seeing it come up so heavily this week is intense. So something big might shift your perspective or your journey, and it might very much propel you to exactly where you need to be, surrounded with exactly the right people, and feeling vindicated and having upgrades and experiencing joy, even though there's these moments of, oh, feeling like maybe it's been a lot and I've had to do it all on my own. But at the end of the day, like, you are where you are because this is where you're meant to be. I don't know. It just feels like, all of these, I just feel like it's a very big energy, but at the same time, with the Knight of Pentacles showing up, there's a little bit of a reminder about just showing up for yourself gently and doing small things, that keep you grounded because this is really big energy this week. So do small things that keep you grounded. Trust the work you're doing is building something real. It's building something big. And I can see that here. So I know this is a lot for just our little Mystic Monday reading. But it's a very powerful message that basically is just saying, like, look, keep going. You are so close. You're closer than you think. Even if things start feeling a little bit uncertain, you are like on the edge of a giant shift for yourself and the whole. I want to say the rest of your life. Okay, it feels that big. But anyway, if you feel the energy, you can let me know in the comments if you feel like it. Otherwise, I will try to be back with more readings and get back on schedule and get the shorts pumping out again as well, as I continue to heal. Okay, so thank you very much for your patience, and yeah, sending you all kinds of love and hugs. I will see you in the next reading. Take care.